Father yelled, "Get out and don't set foot here again." And I left. Weeks later, the phone rang. They wanted to know why the cards weren't working. My answer left them speechless. But what no one knew was that for 5 years, I maintained the house. I paid rent, groceries, internet, electricity, water, and even my sister's college tuition. All this while working since I was 16, doing overtime every day. And they kicked me out on my 21st birthday. I need to tell everything from the beginning for them to understand. Before continuing the story, let me ask you one quick thing. If you like real stories that make you think, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This helps a lot so that more people know about these messages, and that way I can continue bringing stories like this every day. And take the opportunity to comment below, what would you have done in this situation? It was a normal Thursday when the web unraveled. I arrived home from work. It was almost midnight. I had 2 jobs, day at an electronics store, night doing deliveries. Upon entering, I found my father, my mother, and my sister, Sophia, in the living room. A strange tension hung in the air. Sophia, with a malicious smile, always envied me, despite everything. "Daniel, we need to talk," my father said with his deep voice. Exhausted, I sat on the sofa. "You've been arriving very late," he began. I almost laughed. I arrived late because I was paying the bills he couldn't. "Dad, I work late, you know that," I replied, trying to stay calm. But he insisted I was disrespecting the rules. That's when Sophia dropped her bomb. "He's lying, Dad. I saw him today at the mall with a girl, happy, spending, while we here are barely getting by." My blood boiled. It was a lie, and barely getting by was a joke. I paid for everything. "Sophia, you know that's not true," I said, looking at her. But she continued to weave her fantasy. My mother, who had been quiet, intervened. "Daniel, it would be better if you looked for another place. You are disturbing the family's harmony." Harmony? The harmony of living at my expense. But the final blow was yet to come. "Are you kicking me out?" I asked, incredulous. "After everything?" My father stood up, pointed to the door, and vociferated, "Get out, and don't come back. You are no longer welcome here." I went upstairs, grabbed the essentials, documents, laptop, clothes. As I came down with my backpack, Sophia had the audacity. "Leave the additional card. You won't need it anymore." I looked at her, took out the card, and placed it on the table. "Take it. Enjoy it while it lasts," I said. She didn't grasp the irony. I left that house at 11:30 at night, with nowhere to go, but with a plan they couldn't even imagine. I called my friend Mateus. He always said his door would be open. He answered immediately. "Come on over. You helped me. Now it's my turn." That's how I found refuge. The next day, Friday, I made the first crucial decision. I went to the bank early. I canceled all additional cards on my account. My mother's, my father's, Sophia's. I stopped all automatic transfers, rent, electricity bills, water, internet, health plan, everything. The teller asked if I was sure. "Absolutely," I replied. It was processed in 15 minutes. At work, I spoke to my boss about more hours. He was surprised. "Daniel, you already work too much. Are you sure?" he asked. I explained that I now lived alone and needed to save money. He not only agreed but offered me a promotion, night shift supervisor, with a 40% raise. I accepted immediately. For the first time, the money would be mine. I wouldn't have to support 3 adults capable of working. 1 week, then 2. No messages, no calls. They thought they had taught me a lesson. In the 3rd week, Tuesday, my phone vibrated. It was my mother. I ignored it. She called again and again. On the 10th call, I answered. "Daniel, where are you? What have you done?" she shouted. "Hi, Mom. I did what you told me to. I left and didn't come back," I replied calmly. "Don't play dumb. The cards aren't working. The rent hasn't been paid. The electricity will be cut off." "And what do I have to do with it?" I asked. "You kicked me out, remember? You said I was disturbing the harmony." She fell silent. In the background, I heard my father shouting, "Daniel, you need to pay. It's your obligation as a son," she said. Unbelievable. My obligation, Mom? I paid all the bills for 5 years, since I was 16. You kicked me out on my 21st birthday. Don't be dramatic. You know it wasn't like that. She tried to manipulate. It was exactly like that. And you know what? You did me a favor. Now I know how much money I have left over without supporting 3 people. Daniel, stop. Transfer the rent now or we'll be evicted. Mom, I'll be clear. I won't pay anything anymore. You are adults. Dad is 45.
You are 43. Sophia is 23. Get jobs.
Your father is looking for you, she yelled. For 5 years, he refuses everything, thinking it's beneath him. The truth hurt. My father refused dozens of jobs out of humiliation, and Sophia, whose college I paid for 2 years ago, never worked. She's looking for something in her field, my mother defended. 2 years? Mom, seriously? I heard my father pick up the phone. Listen here, you ungrateful wretch. Transfer that money or you'll regret it. Dad, you kicked me out, yelled at me to leave and never come back. I'm just obeying. Don't be cynical. We have bills. He was desperate, unrepentant. You had 5 years to get a real job. 5 years living at my expense. It's over. Are you going to leave us on the street? He asked, trying to guilt me. No, Dad, you're going to leave yourselves. I just stopped preventing it, I replied. He hung up, but I knew it wasn't over. And it wasn't. 2 days later, Sophia showed up at my work with a tear-stained face that didn't convince me. Daniel, please, we need to talk, she said, feigning regret. I'm working, Sophia. Something you should try, I replied, without stopping. Stop being cruel. It's not easy to find a job in my field. She started with the usual excuses. Then work in another field temporarily. I started at 16 in a diner. I wasn't ashamed. She looked at me angrily. The mask fell. You were always their pride, the perfect son who worked. No, Sophia, I was the sucker you exploited, but it's over. And you know what? I'm saving 3,000 reals a month. Her eyes widened. 3,000 a month? She could hardly believe it. Yes, rent 1,000, bills 500, groceries 600, your college 400, not counting extras. Daniel, I'm so sorry about the lie. I made up the story about the girl out of envy, she admitted. Envy of what? Of me working 12 hours a day to support you all? I asked, confused. Envy of you being independent, of having your own life while I still depend on my parents, she confessed. Sophia, you're 23. The only thing stopping you is yourself. I had to be independent at 14 when Dad lost his job. She cried real tears. Now, Daniel, they're going to evict us. 3 days to get out. Then you'd better look for another place, one you can afford, I replied. You have no heart. How can you do this to your family? She screamed, drawing attention. Sophia, you kicked me out on my birthday after 5 years of supporting you all. Who has no heart here? My boss asked her to leave. She left crying, but before she did, she said, "You'll regret this." A week later, I received an audio message from my father, 15 minutes that I didn't even listen to completely. Basically, they had to leave the apartment and went to live with my grandmother, his mother, in a rural town. He said he had finally gotten a job in a factory, the kind of work he had spent 5 years saying was humiliating. My mother also started as a supermarket cashier. Sophia was still looking in her field. But the end of the message was interesting. When you return to normal and realize your mistake, don't come looking for us. Return to normal? Normal was me being exploited. I laughed so much that Mateos thought I was crazy. 6 months passed. I was promoted again to assistant manager. My salary almost doubled. I rented my own apartment, small but comfortable. I bought new furniture. For the first time, I was living for myself. That's when I received an unexpected call. My grandmother. She had never called me before. Daniel, my son, I need to talk to you, she said with a tired voice. My heart tightened. I always liked her. Hi, Grandma, are you okay? I asked, worried. More or less, son. It's about your parents. She told me the truth I suspected. They were making her life a living hell. They complained about everything, didn't help, wanted to be supported. Daniel, I know what they did to you. Your father told me everything, thinking I would agree. But you did the right thing, son. Hearing that from her was a relief. Someone in the family finally understood. Grandma, are they working? I asked. Your father lasted 2 months at the factory, said it was degrading, and quit. I wasn't surprised. And your mother also quit. She said the boss was rude. Daniel, they haven't changed at all. Grandma, I'm sorry you're going through this, I said. Don't be. I'm going to do the same thing you did. I'm going to kick them out. 2 weeks later, dozens of calls from family. I ignored them all, until Sophia sent a message. Your grandmother kicked us out. Did you set this up? You destroyed our family. I replied, No, Sophia. You destroyed it the day you chose lies and laziness instead of love and work. My father tried one last gambit. He appeared at my apartment. I don't know how he found the address. We need to talk, he said. He was down, thinner, aged. Dad, we have nothing to talk about, I replied. But, he insisted, please, 5 minutes. I let him in. He sat on my new sofa, looked around. You're doing well? He observed. I am. I work, I pay my bills, I live my life. Exactly what you all should do, I replied. Daniel, we made a mistake. I made a mistake. I let pride speak louder, he finally admitted. It wasn't just pride, Dad. It was exploitation. You used me as an ATM, not a son. You're right, he said. I almost fell out of my chair. My father admitting a mistake. But now we're on the streets, Daniel. Your mother is sick. Sophia is depressed. We need help, he pleaded. Dad, you had 6 months to change. And, for Grandma's sake, you remained the same. We'll change, I promise. I'll look for a job, any job. Your mother too, Sophia too. Desperate. Dad, you already made that promise to Grandma and didn't keep it. Why would it be different? He had no answer. Silence for seconds that felt like hours. The saddest part, Dad? I would have continued helping, but you kicked me out. It was Sophia. She invented the lie and we believed it. He tried to shift the blame. No, Dad. You chose to believe. You chose to kick me out. After everything, you didn't even give me the benefit of the doubt. He started to cry. My father, always tough, was crying. Daniel, please, we are your family, he said through tears. No, Dad. Family doesn't do what you did. I took 500 reals from my wallet and handed it to him. This is for you to eat today and have somewhere to sleep. Tomorrow, look for a job. All 3 of you, no exceptions. Only this? He asked. It's more than you gave me when you kicked me out, I replied. And Dad, don't look for me anymore. When you're working, supporting yourselves, then we can try to rebuild. He stood up, took the money, and went to the door. Before leaving, he turned. I'm sorry, son. Me too, Dad. I'm sorry it came to this, I replied, and closed the door. It's been a year. I heard from Grandma that everyone is working. My father is a security guard, my mother is a cleaner, Sophia is a telemarketing attendant. They are not their dream jobs, but they survive, learning the value of work that I knew at 14. Sometimes, I wonder if I did the right thing. But I remember that night, my father's words, get out and don't come back. And I realized that I didn't destroy my family. I just stopped holding the broken pieces. Today, I have my own business, a small electronics store, opened with the money I saved. Ironic, isn't it? The money that once supported 3 lazy people now supports a business and 3 employees. My grandmother visits me. She says I have too good a heart, that I should forgive them. Maybe one day, but for now, I'm building my life. The life they tried to destroy, but which set me free. And the funniest part? Sophia messaged me last week asking for a job at my store. I replied that she could send her resume. She would go through the same process, no privileges. She didn't send it. I guess she still expects special treatment for being family. Some people never learn. For anyone going through something similar, my advice: family is not who exploits you. Family is who supports you. Don't be afraid to free yourself from toxic relationships, even with parents or siblings. Your worth is not in how much you can give, but in how much you respect yourself. And when someone shouts at you to leave and not come back, sometimes the best thing to do is just that. Because in the end, when they call asking why the card stopped working, you'll have the perfect answer. Because I learned that my worth is not in supporting those who don't value me. And you will learn that too, the hard way. This is my story. It's not pretty, it's not happy, but it's real. And reality, sometimes, is the best teacher.